Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
And single cylinder locks at an old house, and I'm having trouble with the mechanism there, and I'm thinking it's probably easier for me just to replace the whole lock itself. In the past, I kept with the Ilcos because I was able to use the same, I don't know what's called, the strike plate, the one that gets more this thin. So I'd like to go back with the same brand. Now, in the past, I bought the 535, 53, 51. Okay, and I happen to have one here in my hand, and which is it's supposed to outside and inside, 2 cylinders. But on your website, you have that product line. I'm thinking of ordering 2, but I'm not certain what this other one is, the 5341. What's the difference between those two? One says it's a quick set keyway, and the other one is I don't know. I'm just wondering what's the difference between the 535 5341 and the 535 5351.
Stand by and I'll tell you.
Sure.
Okay, let's look.
Because I have 2 apartments, each with 2 of these Ilcos, and they're all having problems. So I'm trying to go to path of least resistance here, but I'm hoping to use the same mortise, whatever you call it, strike or whatever it's the thing. And I'm wondering if it's easier for me to replace the whole thing than try to work with cylinders and all that.
Well, the difference between the 41 and the 51 is only the packaging.
The packaging?
So, yep.
Why is that?
Why is that? I don't know why that is.
The packaging?
One is a clamshell and the other is a box. If you're a retail environment, you'd probably want the clamshell packaging.
No, isn't this retail?
If you don't care what kind of packaging it comes in, just order the less expensive of the 2, which is probably the 41 would be my guess.
Okay, yeah, it's less. So why they say with quick set keyway?
Because that's the keyway of the cylinders that you're going to get with it.
And the other one doesn't come with a different keyway. I want to make sure you're getting what's the keyway is the where the key goes in, right?
Sure. You know how your ignition key of your car doesn't work, your door lock at home? Yeah, that's just the keyway. If it was the same key, you know what I mean? That's,
but the 41 doesn't say keyway. It just says double cylinder.
It says KW1. That's locksmith code for quickset.
Oh, so both of them are both the quickset keyway for the 41 and 51?
Yes. Like I said, the only difference is the packaging.
Okay, the packaging. Okay. So do you carry the one with the single cylinder with the thumb, or the single cylinder? Because you have the single cylinder, but it's less the cylinder. You have the 530, 53, 41. You have the 51?
Change the 535 to 530, and everything else will be the same.
Yeah, but online it says it's less the cylinder. The 530, 53, 41. You don't have the 51. You have you list the 41, 530, 41, and it says less cylinder. It doesn't come with the cylinder. It doesn't come with the. It's just the I think it's just half of it.
Yeah, so the one you'll want to, you're right, we don't have it in there. The one you'll want to buy is the 530
51?
5351. Yes, sir. That'll be
But I don't see it online though. You have it online?
Sure, it's there. Search it. Yeah, 530-53-51.
Oh,
It'll be the one that comes up with the picture. Yes, sir.
530-53-51. Single cylinder. Okay. 530. Okay, and you say it's the packaging. One is, yeah, you got two of them. The ones you got two listed, and you're saying they're both the same. It's just that it's the packaging on one.
No, I didn't say that. I said the difference between the 41 and the 51 is the packaging.
Right.
The one that when you do that search, you'll want the one that comes up with the image.
Oh, the image of the
lock. Yeah. Yes, sir.
The other one that just says Ilco, what is that?
I don't know.
Because that's $5 more expensive, and it carries almost the same number.
You're going to want the one with the image.
Oh.
I don't. Yeah.
So that's your part number, Kaba. Okay, yeah. The one with the image carries the dash numbers, the 530-53-51, and then the one without the image says 530-53-51 without. I don't know. It looks confusing. I guess
hang on. Let me help. Hang on one second. Let me get there. I'm kind of just going off of memory.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. On your keyboard, you see the F5 key. Please hit that one time.
Okay. Now I see. Yeah.
Mhm. That's the 51.
That's the one with the image.
Mhm. Yeah, the 530-53-51. That's the single cylinder version with a quick set keyway.
So if I was to go back to the other one, the 530-35-51, am I getting? Oh yeah, you're saying the 41 is just the okay. The 41 is the packaging.
A 41 would be a box package, and then the 530 is the single cylinder.
Wait. We're saying a lot of things here, and I need to write this down because I don't want to be ordering the wrong ones. Okay, so on the single cylinder is the 530-53-51, and it's and that's the thumb, and that's 1771. Okay, and then the other one is the double, and you're saying the 41 is the 41 is the same as the 51 on the double cylinder. It's just the packaging, right?
Yes.
So I would be ordering on the double. I would be ordering the 535-53-41, and which is 1932. Okay, because I'll probably want to buy 2 singles and 2 doubles.
Okay.
No, something like that. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Okay. Now let me ask you. I have, as I say, it must have been years now because I got the stuff in front of me where I have the 535-53-51. It looks like I got the whole package here, but when I on the outside piece, when I stick the key into the rim, there we go. Okay, the key doesn't turn on. I look like I got the whole brand new piece. Now, when I turn the key, I'm holding the outside cylinder. Okay, the cylinder that will go on the outside, and I haven't broken any. The tabs haven't been broken, so it looks like I just took it apart out of a package. I don't know, but when I try turning the key, it doesn't turn. Now the key itself has a number on it. It doesn't say Ilco, but it fits inside the cylinder. Is that sound right? Does that sound right?
Well, it sounds like you have a key that doesn't operate the cylinder.
Even though it slides in.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the key can slide into the cylinder, but if it doesn't turn, then there's a problem with the key, or the problem with the cylinder, or the pins, or the springs, or the plug, or the housing.
Yeah, I can say I have like what's happened in the past. And this is going back years now. It's probably I like to work with the existing without remortgaging anything. I like to leave the stripe on the frame, and I may have bought the part and I scavenged something else just to minimize changing things out. So, but it looks like I have intact the whole packaging for the 530. Okay, and it looks like everything's there on the outside cylinder, which is the thumb one. This is a thumb. On the outside cylinder, the tabs haven't been broken, so obviously I never used it. And the key that happens to be in this package, it doesn't say Ilco, but it's got some model numbers on it. It fits in, but it doesn't turn. So I don't know why, if I have almost a complete package here, the key doesn't work.
Well, it's a Monday, Friday cylinder.
Oh, what do you mean Monday?
I mean, why it doesn't work? I know why, from a locksmithing perspective, it doesn't work. Why you got that non-functional cylinder, I can't answer. I mean, there's clearly something wrong with the cylinder.
Yeah, no, it's not a match. The keys happen. The keys aren't really associated with the cylinder. Then, what you're saying?
No, not necessarily. There could be something else wrong.
Oh, because it looks brand new. It doesn't even look like it's been used.
You got a key that'll go into the cylinder, but it doesn't turn. Something is wrong somewhere. That could be caused by multiple things.
Okay.
From a locksmithing perspective, why it's not working could be a number of things. Not many things, but like I said, the housing, the plug, the springs, the pins, the key. That thing is mass produced in Asia, where they're lopping out, 10,000 a shift. It could be a manufacturing defect. It could be, somebody sent you a return. Who knows? It could be anything really.
Yeah. So I don't know whether should I bring it to a local locksmith store to try to get this thing fixed. I don't know. I mean, what I'm looking basically to do is get two thumbs and two double cylinders, because the front door has glass on it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for the double cylinder, and the back door is a solid door. So I don't need a double cylinder. Now, if there's, that's what I'm basically looking for, and I was hoping to be able to use at least maybe get by with only buying three, maybe one extra thumb, but, this one doesn't. It looks like it's all new, but it hasn't. I mean, I don't know. It's probably been 10 years since I even looked at this stuff here. Okay. So the double cylinder is a 41 as opposed to 51 because of packaging, and that comes with keys and it's a double cylinder.
No, what you said is wrong. You said 41 is the double cylinder. The 535 is double cylinder. 530 is single.
The 535-53-41.
535-53-41 is a double cylinder. Yes, sir.
Double cylinder as opposed to the 535-53-51, which is $2 more. You say that's basically packaging.
A 51 would be in a different package. Yes, sir.
Right. So there's no need to spend an extra $2 on packaging. So and on the single, it's the 530-53-51 I need to get. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That would be a single cylinder.
And that's a single cylinder with a thumb. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I went online, I was putting things in my cart, and I said, well, wait a minute. Well, what's it? One said it didn't come with a cylinder, and one didn't. I was getting confused. And I didn't see offhand the single cylinder with the cylinder on that.
Yeah, those could be bought either way.
Yeah. Okay. Now, on some of those locks, can they be? I'm having problems opening them. Where I got a jiggle, and I, I'm comfortable using it, but I'm getting a new tenant, and obviously, what happened was I went there one day to enter the apartment. I couldn't get in, so I got frustrated. I walked away. I spoke to my tenant. He says, "Oh, Jack, you just gotta jiggle it," and I says, "I just jiggle it, and I'm right in." So he never complained about it. So once I knew it was a matter of jiggling, I've been able to enter the apartment whenever I need to because with my key. But now that I'm getting a new tenant on the same one, I said, "Well, it's a little, disconcerting when you're trying to play with it and you can't get, you're not going to be able to get in the door." You know what I mean? So I'd rather just go and replace the whole thing. And so I don't know what the mechanism there. Maybe I could have it rekeyed. I put some silicone in there. I don't know whether that was the right thing to do, but
it wasn't.
Oh no, graphite was the better one.
I don't know. You use what the manufacturer recommends. That's the answer. WD-40, graphite, silicone. I've never heard silicone being used in a lock, although that may not be true. Graphite is probably the best choice for that cylinder, but most definitely not for others. The bottom line is this: that is an extremely low quality cylinder. In fact, I would argue that you could not get one lower quality. Those parts are machined with very large tolerances, and a key and pins and a plug, they can't tolerate large tolerances. So when it's already very sloppily manufactured to begin with, and then you put years of use onto it, the wear and tear that occurs will exacerbate those already large tolerances to the point where you got to jiggle the key. A key should not move that much in the plug. So either just replace it because it's worn out, or my suggestion is you spend $15 for a cylinder only that's extremely high quality and will last decades. That would be my suggestion. But how old is the cylinder that you have now, the one that you got to jiggle?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it could be
a decade.
Years.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you have to replace it outright because it doesn't operate and you're aware that it doesn't operate. But it's the wear and tear, and plus it's a really, really low-end cylinder. I mean, I just,
Well, is it better just replace? As I say, I'm just trying to keep the strike plate the same. So I don't know whether should I just change out the cylinders for the lock on the double, or I mean, is there do I got to go back with an Ilco cylinder, or these are universal cylinders?
So all you need is a rim cylinder. Kaba Ilco makes rim cylinders. The one you have is a die-cast zinc. You order one of their solid brass rim cylinders. They're about $15 each at the most, but because it's an architectural base material, I mean, it's going to last, it's really going to be a cylinder that you won't have to revisit for 3 decades. It's going to work perfectly.
So where are those cylinders? You got
Sure. So the cylinder that you want, and I have to find it.
And this is what I could use with the existing frame of the lock, right? I just change out the cylinder. So if it's a double cylinder, I need two of them.
No, we're only talking about changing the exterior cylinder.
Okay. So that would be that would be the single cylinder lock with the thumb interior. There's a thumb on it.
Or the double, where you're only replacing the exterior cylinder. You're still going to have that key cylinder on the inside, but it's probably not used nearly as much as the exterior is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking.
So, but if that was a little jimmy, I mean, I would need to replace the other cylinder too, and then I have to have everything rekeyed, right, with one key.
Yeah, there's no replacing the interior cylinder. You would have to you'd have to replace the lock body.
Okay. So
okay.
On an exterior. Okay.
So this part number for the cylinder is 7015 AA8.
Okay. 7015 AA8.
Yes, sir. -03.
And that will fit the Ilco frame and all, the 535 with the 530.
It's not going to work with that lock body at all. This is going to be installed on the outside. It's compatible with the lock body, but you're not installing it on the lock body. It's on the outside of the door.
Right. So yeah, it's on the outside. So it's basically the same. It will look like the same cylinder I have there now on the outside. It's just that it's going to be
Then add to the end of your part number -KD as in Kilo Delta.
KD Delta.
Yeah. Kilo Delta. Yes, sir.
So it's 7015 AA8-03-KD.
Yes, sir.
So those are the ones that where I would want to, if I have the single cylinder lock, that would be a perfect replacement as opposed to changing and buying a whole new lock, right? And you say that runs about $15 and it's a better product?
Because it's made of brass. I mean, the lock body is probably going to work just fine, but that cylinder is obviously taking all the use. You can replace the outside cylinder only and keep your lock body regardless of it being single or double cylinder. I mean, how many times a day does the outside get locked and unlocked compared to how many times a day does the inside get locked and unlocked when it's a double cylinder? Probably less. There's probably many people coming in and out, but they might only bolt it from the inside, twice a day, if at all.
Yeah. So basically, they could always leave the key inside the body. Well, no, because you don't want to do that. That's the whole purpose of not leaving the key there.
Well, if you're going to do that, just give them a single cylinder. Yeah.
Well, they could have the key on the other side. I don't know, below where an arm could reach. Okay. So this cylinder is really a cylinder for the outside. And it'll fit both the double cylinder lock and the single cylinder lock, but it mounts on the outside. Now, how much is this?
Those cylinders are about $15. I'm not looking at it, but they're about $15.
Okay, so then that lock there would require two keys, basically, one for the interior, one for the exterior. Okay.
No, not at all. Not at all. You would have them keyed alike. We can do that. Your local locksmith can do that, however you like. This cylinder part number I gave you is just an option if you want to upgrade the quality of the cylinder that you would get when you buy the entire lock. It's just, you want a better quality cylinder, that's the part number for that outside rim cylinder.
Oh, I'm thinking of using the existing lock that's there and just changing out the cylinder.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to work great.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, if it works from the inside readily, then it's really, as you say, it'll probably be the outside one I got to see which. I got so many. I got 4 doors, and I can't keep. I'm having a hard time keeping track of which. Everyone has a little quirk to it. So I think I just want to replace everything and get everything squared away. So now the exterior door on the back is not often used. It just goes to the backyard and to the wash machine. So they're not locking the door from the outside really. They're locking the door on the front. So that's why I'm thinking the thumb one is fine for the rear door. And if that lock is sticking now, I just change out the cylinder on if I go with the thumb. Okay. So this cylinder will fit in the exterior, both the single and the double Ilco locks. The
Definitely.
old ones, right? Yeah. Because right now I have the 535, 53, 51, and the 530, 53, 51. Because the reason why I said it is because I'm looking at various packages that I've saved and mishmashed it, as I say, just to fix something and walk away from it. Okay, well, good. Now, you say you rekey it, but I guess, obviously, for people who walk into your store, obviously, I'm in New Orleans, so I'm not going to go you're not going to rekey it for me, right? Unless I order if I ordered 2 sets of locks, do you rekey them?
Yeah, you'd have to send me your key. It all ships here, but yeah, you're in good shape.
No. What if I order a double cylinder and a single cylinder? Can you key them all to the same?
Yeah, I can key them alike, or I can key them to your tenant's existing key if you mailed it to me.
Yeah, I'd rather it's a new tenant. I just give
Oh yeah, new keys. Yes, sir.
Yeah, new keys. So how much would be rekeying the 2 locks?
Well, I'll take the double cylinder and I'll rekey the single cylinder to it. So there's going to be a one-time charge of $12 to rekey that one cylinder, and then it's $2 for every key that we cut if you wanted more than the 2 that you would get.
Okay, so if I go that route, it's best probably call in the order. I'm not. It'd be hard to do this online, right?
I'll enter it for you. It can be done online. It is. I will do it through the website the same way that you would, but you're just not going to know where I hide all the links.
Yeah. So if I go that route, I'll just call you back and go. What was your name, Rich?
Yes, sir. My name is Richard.
Okay. So when I call in, I just ask for the locksmith department.
Just ask for me. I don't.
Rich.
I'm a certified locksmith, but I don't call myself a locksmith.
Yeah. There's only one Richard, right?
One Dick. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the because I probably so it's $12 to the key, the single cylinder. You match it to the double cylinder, and if I get 2 sets, I may go that route. And all these Ilcos, I'm probably calling the wrong thing when I say the strike plate. You know what I mean? The one that gets mounted to the door frame. Those haven't changed in all these years.
So, well, I mean, I can't say all these years. You might have something from the 60s, but I'm sure that it's not changed at all. I think the proper term is retainer or detainer, but when you say strike, I know exactly what you mean, the thing that you mount to the jam.
Yeah. And because it looks like the lock itself on the surface mount, it's almost the same size. They all look alike, you know what I mean, in terms of the physical size of that. So I imagine the deadbolts line up with the. That's why I'd rather just stay with Ilco, and because it's I don't know, but I called Ilco, and they don't even have a tech support department. They don't.
They do.
What's that?
They do, and in fact, they have an exceptional technical support department. But the problem is you're never going to get the guy.
Well, customer support says we don't have no technical support, and they really can't tell me anything about the product. Says, well, we don't make it. Well, what do you mean you don't make it? That's why I'm calling Ilco. like,
well,
I got no information from them.
yeah, you want to deal with your distributors like me. They do have tech support. The guy has forgotten more about locks and cylinders than most people have ever learned. And, you know, it does help to be an insider like I am, to be able to get access to the right people. However, you are properly being served by working with distribution for Kaba Ilco. Kaba, it does not want to deal with, you know, your average Joe kind of fella.
Right.
They're not, admittedly, they're not exceptional at that, and I love those people, but it's just the truth.
Yeah. Okay. So, so I got two routes. I could try to work with the existing lock and to just replace a cylinder on the outside, and just go with 2 keys per apartment. I mean, 2 different keys. That may be the cheaper way. The cylinders are 12 versus, well, I don't know. I mean, as I said, I bought these other parts and then I'm not even using them. I don't know why I got this whole 535, why the key doesn't work, and everything looks new, but I don't even know why it doesn't work now. So, okay, Richard, I'm going to sort this out in my mind. Thank you for taking the call. Thank you for giving me all that information. I really appreciate it. But I'm just trying to, now, let me just look at, so if I search that partner, I'm going to see it, 7015 8-03-KD. Okay, there you go, right. 5-pin rim cylinder with arrow keyway. Well, why does this one say $14?
You want the one with the picture.
It says 14.
Yeah, that's the item. I was guessing at 15. I wasn't looking at it. They're about $15.
You said 12. You said 12. Okay.
I didn't say 12. I said they're about $15. The keyword, the locksmithing, is $12 per cylinder.
Okay. The key. Okay. I wrote 12. I don't know what I wrote 12. Okay. So
if you want me to perform the locksmithing services on that cylinder, it would be $12. You would first need to buy the cylinder, which is $14.
$15, right? Yeah.
The cylinder is $14. Yes, sir.
And then the locksmith to match the two is 12. Okay.
Plus $2 per key cut if you need me to cut keys.
Right. If I want additional keys.
Yes, sir.
Because if I buy a new lock, it's going to come with 2 keys, right? The double cylinder is going to come with 2 keys, and
exactly.
I may, whether it's I'm going to need a set, and she's going to have that set. So they tentatively gets 2, I guess, and I'm going to have 1. I have 2, so I need 4 total. So I'll probably need another 2 more. Okay. So now, so the shipping cost, when I put in for the shipping cost for 2 sets, it came out to about $15, $12 to $15. I guess the extra keys, there's nothing involved with the shipping. Okay, and how long would that take once I put the order?
About 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. Oh, wow. Oh, 2 weeks if you were going to rekey it.
About 2 weeks, yes, sir.
Okay, but I thought the shipping was 3 days right now.
About 2 weeks. It's
about
2 weeks.
On the 530, it's just 3 days then, right? If I bought the whole lock.
It's going to be about 2 weeks for us to do the locksmithing. If you want us to do locksmithing, it's going to be about 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, the locksmithing. But if I just order if I don't want them keyed, then your website says something like 3 days, 4 days delivery.
Yeah, I would say a week. Well, to ship, I would say probably a week to ship.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm trying to figure out with all these parts, putting something in temporary. That's why I was wondering why this 530 is not working with the key that's inserted. I may just go to a locksmith and have them fix this.
It's not worth it.
And,
Because, I mean, well, maybe it is. It depends on what they're going to charge you. I mean, if the guy's going to charge you, you're going to walk in and say this doesn't work. He's going to hand you a cylinder and say this is cheaper.
Oh, okay.
So it's just, you know, if you had a $50 cylinder, fine. That cylinder that you have is probably $3 if it had to be purchased. That's a guess, but it's really, really inexpensive.
Yeah. Okay. Okie doke. Well, you give me a lot to chew on. Thanks a lot, Rich. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for calling, sir. Bye-bye.
Okay, great. Bye-bye.
This client that you've just heard my conversation with went on to buy those locks, and what follows is some troubleshooting that we did over the telephone, helping the client get it sorted out, why it's not working, what's going on, getting to the heart of the matter, why the client's just not having a, you know, one-size-fits-all sort of solution. So let's continue on.
Ilco locks, and I believe I spoke to Rich when I was making the selection. They arrived last week. I had ordered 2 of them, and I put them in before. I put them in before. Okay, and the lock that I'm trying on now, it's a 2-cylinder. Are you familiar with locks?
I'm reasonably.
Okay, I don't know whether you're Rich. I'm just going by memory. For some reason, I'm at the premise and I don't have all my notes. I believe his name was Rich, but I could be mistaken. You're a lock guy. I think he may be the owner. So it's a double cylinder. And the reason why I went with the Ilco is because I wanted to keep the same, basically the same dimensions to everything and just change out, the main part. And I put it in. From the outside, it worked. And then when I tried to work it from the inside, it didn't work. And I unscrewed it, and and then the cylinder seemed to be free. And then when I tightened it up again, it locked. It doesn't move. So I noticed that on the barrel of the inside lock, it's blemished. I don't know whether this was a return line or return product, because I don't know why it's not working. These are very simple locks.
Yeah, we don't send out used material, so we'll exclude that from the possibility. But what's changed when you've analyzed the new cylinder and the existing cylinder? What's different?
Nothing. It's almost the identical setup. I mean, I've had an old one from years ago that I was in a pinch and I had it rekeyed before I went ahead and ordered your 2, and that worked fine. It was one with the thumb, and that worked great in the pinch because I put in one on the back door. Then I went ahead and ordered two double cylinders because I have 2 apartments with the front and back, and I thought this was going to go zippity doo dah, and now I'm being hung up on.
Nothing in life is zippity doo dah.
Well, I'm just saying. The other one went very smooth. I don't know why this one from the outside. Matter of fact, I couldn't even take the key out from the inside. Let's see here. Yeah, I can't even take the key out from the inside. I got to unscrew it. I got to untighten it, and then dismount it, and then put it back on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why it's not.
Yeah, so something's different. Something's changed from the old to the new, and discovering what that is the step to determining why. It sounds like if you take that lock off and you put it all in your hand, it'll work. But when you put it on the door and you tighten the screws, it doesn't work from the inside.
Well, yeah. I don't know why.
Or you put the old cylinder back on and it all works.
No. I didn't use any. I'm using all the parts that came with the new lock.
What I'm saying is, if it sounds like if you have the new cylinder and the existing lock body and you pulled it all off the door and you put it on your workbench, you could probably operate everything just fine. I'm just going to assume that is true. And it's probably also true that if you put the original cylinder back in, everything is going to work just fine.
What original? I don't know what you mean by original cylinder. This is a double cylinder. I'm using the whole new lock. I'm not using any parts of the old.
Well, I understood that you said that you bought a cylinder. Did you buy a lock body
No,
as well?
I bought the whole lock. Yeah. I bought the
okay.
I
thought you were doing a cylinder only.
No. I bought the whole lock.
Okay. What do you think might be the cause?
I don't know. I mean, it's the identical, almost looks like the identical lock. The mounting holes are the same with the 4 screws to mount. I first tried the outside, it worked, and then when I went to do the inside, it didn't work, and the key doesn't come out. So I unscrewed it from the door, released got the key out. It seemed to rotate, and then I put it back on, and it's locked up again. And
you've got the outside cylinder installed?
Yeah. I got the whole thing installed, yeah.
Okay. And when you put that...
From the outside cylinder unlocked and relocked the door. Then when I went to use the key from the inside, it didn't move, and the key doesn't come out. So then I took off. I dismounted the lock from the door. It freed up. It seemed to work. Then when I put it back on the door, the inside lock doesn't work. The outside lock seems to rotate fine.
Yes, and I think that is exactly what is the hint as to what the problem is. That's the clue.
Okay.
So, and I'm just going to jump to the summary. Is it possible that the length of the tailpiece, when you trimmed it for that rim cylinder, because you would have had to have trimmed it, is still too long, and that when you put it back together and, as you said, tighten the screws, there's now binding? Is that tailpiece possibly 1/8 of an inch or even less too long?
Yeah, but why would the outside cylinder work properly and the inside?
The question is it possible that the tailpiece is still too long? So the way to test, So the way to test that is to have everything in your hand, because we're trying to eliminate installer error. Get it all in your hand and test both sides when you don't have tightened parts against each other, or loosen up the screws like 3 revolutions and pull the rim cylinder close off the door, and then try to operate the inside and see if that frees that up. But having heard this in the past, it has always been the tailpiece is just slightly too long. It's 10.5 pounds of sausage in a 10-pound bag.
Well, you're right, because now when I loosen the screws, it rotates. The lock rotates. Yeah. But I can't take the key out.
Because you've got to rotate the key to the proper, all the way around. You've got to be able to turn it far enough so that you can then pull the key out.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I loosened the screws, and it seems so maybe you think I got 1 notch left on that tailpiece. You think I need to snap that off?
Well, as the installation expert, you need to find out why it's not working. My experience in this scenario, personally and with clients in the past, is the tailpiece is too long, and you can easily prove that by, like I said, pulling it off a little bit, 1/8 of an inch. Does everything work freely? And if so, then yes. The only thing it could be is that tailpiece bar is just too long.
Okay, because the front works smooth. On the inside, it works smooth also. So, but yet the lock's a little loose. So I do have 1 more notch left on. Well, I don't know how. Okay, I do have 1 notch left on that piece there. You think I should just take that, notch it off?
If you agree that your rim cylinder tailpiece is too long, I agree that it has to be shortened. I don't know how many notches. I don't have that lock in my hand.
What I'm saying is that when I lined up it almost looks like the identical length on the notch when I took out the old cylinder. And I said, okay, I'm just going to, for peace of mind, I'm not going to take it down to the original one. I'm going to take the one notch up.
So
and
that's the problem. The answer to the question is what's changed, and the answer is the tailpiece is too long.
Okay, so because as I said, I loosened up, and it's hand loose, and yet the key was working.
Yeah.
So you think I should take that? I got one more notch left I could take off, and I'll probably be back at the original notch where the old, the old lock had a different arm on it. But in terms of the height, I looked at the two heights. I said, this one lines up with the first notch. Let me just go to the second one because I don't know, and it looked like it was going to fit. Okay, so I'm going to take off the second notch. That's probably what it is then. Maybe, as you say, it's probably too long because right now the key rotates. It's loose now. The lock's loose and everything works. It rotates both inside and out. Okay, are you Rich by chance?
Yes, sir. That's why I remember the job.
So I remember by chance the name. So I'm at the property, so I don't really have all my notes.
That's okay.
So I'm just going by memory now. This is probably about 2 weeks ago, so 2.5 weeks ago. And okay, good. I'm going to try that because, as I say, I didn't want to take it down to the first available notch at the beginning because it's I don't know. So I lined them up. It looked like visually it was going to be that first notch, but I took it to the second notch for peace of mind. And apparently that may be the problem why it's binding up. Okay. Well, Rich, I'm gonna snap it off one more, and I'll keep my fingers crossed, and hopefully I won't be calling you back.
Yeah, I don't know about snapping off one more, but what I would say is measure the effective length of the cylinder to the end of the tailpiece, from the underside of the collar to the end of the tailpiece on the existing, and make the new cylinder that same dimension. That maybe that's one notch on the tailpiece.
No,
it's not.
No, I snapped off. I only have one more notch left that I could snap off.
But my point is that next notch may not be the right length. You might need to put it in a vise and cut it with a hacksaw, not at a notch,
no.
maybe.
No, I think that next notch I take it down to would almost line up with the old cylinder length.
Yes, sir.
Which is almost identical. Now,
yes,
the one that I played around the last time, it was a thumb one. That one I probably had in my shed a long time. So the cylinder looked a little bit different than the newer ones. But then again, that was a thumb one. This one here is a double cylinder, and it almost looks identical to the one I'm taking off. Okay, so in terms of the setup. So, and I compared the two cylinder lengths to the old, and I noticed that if I took it down to the very first notch that I can, which would be no more, I could snap off. It looked like there would have been a line. So I took it one more. I made it a little bit longer for, I said, well, let me just, I don't want to take it down to the bottom one because I can't put back what I take off.
That's a one-way street.
Yeah, it's a one-way. So I said, well, for peace of mind, I don't know how much float there is in this thing. I'm going to just go to the next notch and see how it is. And it looked like, as I said, the front operated very smooth, but the inside portion didn't. So as you said, I just loosened the screws a little bit, and it seems as though it's not binding up. So I'm going to just take it off one notch. I mean, otherwise, if I tighten up again, it doesn't operate.
Yeah,
it jams up, right? So I got to do that because otherwise it doesn't work. It jams up if I tighten the screws now.
Yeah, the only other thing that you could do is don't cut the tailpiece and then add a thicker collar underneath the cylinder. You could do that, but the first thing is make the tailpiece the length because the length of the tailpiece, the effective length of that tailpiece, the other variable in that equation is the actual door thickness. So if you say 1 3/4, well, you put a caliper on there. It ain't 1.75. It could be 1.8. It could be 1.71. And all of these little 16ths of an inch, when you tighten the screws, That's where it changes.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. So,
It's like a gas cap on a car. If you don't tighten it, you're going to get the check engine light. You know, it's just silly, like a quarter turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what it is. I think I was trying to be conservative by not taking it to the notch that looked like it was the original lock, because it's an Ilco. I mean, that's why I went with the same type of setup. I didn't want to deal with another manufacturer or what have you. So that's probably what it is. I probably need to take it down to that one notch. But I don't want to start building up, because then the faceplate may not be lined up. It's one of these things there. So I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I caught you, because the last time I had, I think I caught one of your
lackeys.
Well, not lackeys, but yeah.
That's me saying it.
And something, I probably could kick myself in the butt, because I should have also ordered a third lock. I only ordered two, but the one, the cylinder one on the back door is sticking on me now. I said, oh shit! I should have just bought another one. Now I got to pay another $12 for shipping.
Well, if you can live with it, let it go, and then wait till you're going to replenish your stock, and then you don't get,
Well, yeah,
again.
The thing is, typically tenants don't lock their back door. They go out to the shed. So it's a thumb mechanism, on that one. So I'm hoping that it doesn't become too disturbing. But if I got to bite the bullet and replace it, I replace it. What am I going to do? Okay. Well, Rich, I'm going to snap off that one more tab, and it's probably going to line up with the depth of the original shaft that I had before. So that's probably what it is, that it's probably, as you say, binding up. Okay. Well, I'm glad I got you, and we seem to work this out. I've had a bad day. I've had to
Sounds like you're having a great day.
Well, no, I've had to talk to Sewage and Water Board, and I've been dealing with them now for 15 months on trying to reconcile. They got my meters crisscrossed with different apartments, and
my God.
And it's been going on for 15 months, and they just I finally got someone in it's a joke. I don't. Oh, you're up north, so
no. I'm in Southwest Florida. Here, these people had 2 meters feeding my one space. I discovered it after a year, and I said, "What the hell? Why are there 2 meters here?" Oh, well, we don't know. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, listen. There was minimum charges being on there, so we've got to figure out why that's happening. But yeah, you can't let go. You can't let go of these people.
Oh yeah, that's what happened. But the thing is, that I have 2 meters with the same apartment, but I don't know. It gets confusing. I don't want to work up my blood pressure.
Don't do that.
They were just here this morning, and he didn't come prepared. A fiasco. So I said, oh, let me calm down. Let me let me do something constructive and put this lock in. And now it's like stress.
And the mousetrap came down on the little finger.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I got you on first shot. So thanks a lot, Rich, for. I'm gonna, as I say, it's right now. It's just finger loose. It's a little loud. So I'm probably just off a little bit of a fraction of an inch. That's why it's binding up.
And if you have a grinder, toss it on your bench grinder. That'll be faster.
Oh, I don't. I mean, I could only come down one more notch. I mean, I have one more notch available that I could come down on, and that would line up with the notch of the original one I've taken off. So
I see.
I'm hoping that that's gonna. I don't have a grinder to notch that. Or maybe a file. You said I could take a file down, but that's a lot to file down. Just for I don't know.
I wouldn't. I mean, in a pinch, but yeah, which use whatever tool you've got. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, because I don't want this not to be straight, and then I got to worry about it. Oh, is it beveled down? Is it not straight? Is it line? It's one of these things where my experience when I put the old one that I had, the one that I had lying around, and I cut off the tab, it looked as though it wasn't quite perfectly straight, but it still worked. You know what I mean? So I said, oh, okay, that's cool. So I was a little extra careful this time when I snapped it at the line. I made sure it was going to come straight down and not concave or anything like that. So
No, yeah, make it straight.
I was very careful to make it straight, so you can't accuse me of not having it straight. So it is straight. Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Rich. I'm going to take this off and snap it off one more notch, and that probably should solve everything. Great of you to answer the phone right away. That's good. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video.
First notch that you could get it down to. And the inside is rotating fine. And then when I went to the front, it was a little bit difficult. So I unloosened the screws on the frame, on the lock, and it rotated a little quicker. Could I have tightened the plate too tight, the lock too tight? I mean, where the outside cylinder, could I have tightened that too tight, or is it because it's still a little bit loose? If I tighten the inside frame real tight, the front lock, the inside rotates fine. It's just now the outside one is hard to rotate.
And when you loosen that, it probably works better.
Well, yeah, when I loosen it, it works better. I mean, the front one works better. The inside portion is fine now. If I make it as tight as I want, the inside portion, lock cylinder rotates fine. But the front one is difficult. So when I unloosen the body from the door, it rotates fine. I don't know what it is I need to adjust. Could it be the screw that lock that for the outside cylinder, loosen those up? Maybe I make it tight.
Well, the only time that I know of when this occurs, and it would be helpful to loosen the screws that hold the cylinder on the outside and then try it. The only time I hear that, and what that will prove is the following. If the tailpiece is bent at all, even imperceptibly, if it's not laser beam straight, you'll find that you can turn it and then it gets really hard, and if you keep going, it'll probably go, but then gets looser.
Right.
That's a bent tailpiece, and that tailpiece has to be laser beam, like a laser beam straight. That that axis of pivoting has to be utterly without any angle at all.
But that's how the diagram shows using 2 pliers and snapping it at the line. I mean, that's what I did. I mean, that's how 2 pliers, put 1 plier on the line, the other one at the tail end, and just snap it off. I mean, that's.
I hear you.
Okay,
those instructions are defective, and they have been since day one.
Well, but okay. So you think maybe I should loosen up the outside cylinder a little bit and see whether that frees it up?
Well, that'll prove that the tailpiece is likely not laser beam straight. And all of those installation instructions say, put it in a vise and bend it over, or 2 pliers and snap it. Well, what that does is, first of all, those score marks are not deep enough to actually break it cleanly. And all that really does is it serves to bend the tailpiece slightly. Every single time I've modified a tailpiece, it comes off the lock, it goes in a vise, and I carefully cut it with a hacksaw, because then I don't bend it at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can only follow the instructions. You know what I mean? I'm sure I can only do what the instructions tell me to do. I didn't know because I did one with that other lock that I had, the same Ilco that I had. It was a brand new cylinder. I snapped it. It works, it works fine. So, okay, so let me see.
I'm not saying that the instructions are responsible for it being bent. I'm saying that I never follow those instructions because I find that people bend them unintentionally, but not all the time.
I was very careful. I'm trying. I mean, I'm being very, very careful from what I'm trying to do. So I'm not just, let me just, manhandle this thing. because I'm just doing what instructions are telling me. As a matter of fact, the diagram that they got here is the same diagram that they had for 35 years, because it hasn't changed from the last.
A lot longer than that, I bet.
Well, I'm just saying, because they don't. There's a different
changed.
bracket. There's a different bracket that came with the supply of this new cylinder and the one I took off. There's an extra two wood screws that go into the wood. The other bracket didn't have no wood screws. You just fasten to the cylinder. So okay, let me, because I don't know. Well, I don't know. Okay, so let me play with the outside lock. Maybe I could loosen up the screws. I don't know. Maybe it's loosen up the screws a little bit. Maybe I made them too tight.
I mean, if anything's out of alignment, that tailpiece is not going to turn freely on the inside. I don't know. I mean, they can't be overly tight, but they can't be,
Yeah, but wait a minute. But
loose.
right now, I loosened the lock. The inside. I loosened the inside frame to the door. I just loosened the screws. The front lock rotates very easy. Very, very easy. No jamming. Here. See, no jamming. If I tighten the screws on the frame now, the 4 screws, and it jams up. So it can't be that the tab is crooked, because it's working it works one way. It works.
Well, what happens if the tailpiece is bent? When you loosen either the inside or the outside, as you rotate that key on the outside, that body or the cylinder, depending on what you've loosened, can imperceptibly move ever so slightly, so that slight binding doesn't occur. But when you tighten it back up, that binding is revealed.
Okay. So I'll try straightening the tab. It looks pretty straight to me. I mean, but you could only it's the score lines are on the tab. It's down to the score line. So it can't be where you need a laser to put this in.
It can't. But it still has to be straight. And I would put it on the anvil portion of my vise, and I would ball peen hammer, and I'd tap it, make sure it's utterly flat. Utterly flat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll try working with a little bit with the pliers, and if not, I'll have to, as you say, maybe ball peen it on a metal surface, making sure it's flat. Well, I don't have a ball. I mean, I have a.
Well, whatever.
I just have a hammer.
A tack hammer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe against. Okay. I'll do that. I'll try that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I thought we were sailing smooth, but apparently there's another snag. Great. Thanks for taking the call, Rich.
Thank you for calling, sir.
Okay. Right. Bye-bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.